A potential government shutdown looms, and with it, a controversial plan from the White House that could result in mass layoffs. This is a critical issue that has the potential to impact thousands of federal employees and their families. As the federal fiscal year draws to a close on September 30th, the lack of a new budget approved by Congress could trigger a shutdown. This annual standoff between Democrats and Republicans is nothing new. But this year, it takes on a different tone. The White House, led by President Donald Trump, is using this opportunity to push for significant cuts to the federal workforce, while Democrats are advocating for increased spending. The battle for budget control. In a memo released by Politico, the Federal Office of Management and Budget outlined its strategy for a potential shutdown. The memo urges federal executives to use the shutdown as a chance to permanently eliminate jobs that no longer have funding or are not aligned with the president's policies. This move is seen as a way to reduce the size of the federal government and align it with the White House's vision. However, not all programs are affected equally. Essential services like Social Security, Medicare, veterans benefits, and law enforcement will continue to be funded, ensuring that these critical areas are not disrupted. The Democratic stance and the continuing resolution. The memo highlights the Democratic Party's intention to break with tradition and not support a continuing resolution, which is typically used to keep the government running while a budget agreement is negotiated. Democrats are blocking the Republican-supported version due to their own partisan demands, according to the memo. This is where it gets controversial. The White House, through its Big Beautiful Bill, believes it has the resources to continue its core priorities uninterrupted. But the memo also states that programs without mandatory appropriations will bear the brunt of a shutdown, and agencies are being directed to issue reduction in force (RIF) notices to employees working on projects that do not align with the president's priorities. The impact and next steps. The memo makes it clear that job cuts are not just a temporary measure during a shutdown. Once the budget is approved for fiscal year 2026, agencies are instructed to revise their RIFs to retain only the minimum number of employees needed to carry out statutory functions. The prospects for a congressional agreement before the end of the fiscal year are slim, as noted by the Wall Street Journal. The Senate returns on Monday, but the current plan is to vote only on the House-passed proposal, which funds existing programs through November 21st. The House, however, will not return until after October 1st, and any agreement must be approved by both chambers, leaving room for further delays and potential shutdowns. This is a complex and evolving situation, and it raises important questions. Should the government use a shutdown as an opportunity to reshape its workforce? Is this a responsible way to manage the federal budget, or is it a politically motivated move? What are your thoughts on this controversial plan? Feel free to share your opinions and engage in a respectful discussion in the comments below.